You were the smart kid, the one who got praised for being mature for your age. You finished tests early. You read books adults struggled with. You understood things most people didn't even notice. Everyone said you had potential. So, why do you feel so stuck now? Why does life feel harder the older you get? Why are others, people you once felt ahead of, now passing you? Why does trying suddenly feel like failing? This isn't imposter syndrome. This is the hidden curse of being gifted. Let's talk about it. The early praise trap. When you're labeled gifted or smart as a kid, it feels good at first. You get recognition, attention, admiration. But over time, that praise starts building a quiet prison. You start tying your identity to always being right, always being quick, always being exceptional. And here's where it turns on you. You begin to fear effort. Because if you have to try, if you have to struggle, if something doesn't come naturally, what does that say about you? Most gifted kids grow up believing, if I'm not instantly good at it, I must not be gifted after all. So what do? You avoid the hard things. You procrastinate. You self-sabotage. Not because you're lazy, but because trying and failing feels like evidence that you're not who they said you were. If that already hit too close to home, pause and hit like, you're not alone in this. You were trained to perform, not to grow. School rewarded your ability to finish first, to get A's, to absorb fast. But life doesn't care how fast you finish. It cares whether you can adapt, whether you can struggle, whether you can stay in discomfort long enough to actually grow. The gifted kid was never taught how to fail. They were taught how to impress. So now you hit adulthood and realize you have no real systems, no study habits, no resilience muscle, because you never had to build them. You were praised for talent, not for process. The perfectionism loop. Smart kids often become perfectionist adults. Why? Because being smart became your thing. So now you fear being seen trying. You hide unfinished projects. You don't post the video. You don't launch the idea. You don't apply unless you're definitely qualified. You don't want to be average at anything. So you'd rather do nothing than do something poorly. You'd rather delay than disappoint. But here's the paradox. Perfectionism is just procrastination wearing a suit. It's fear, dressed up to look respectable. If that stung a little, you're in the right place. Hit like if you know what I mean. High potential, low output. This is the most frustrating part. You know you're capable of more. You see your own ideas and think, that's actually good. You've had flashes of clarity, of energy, of progress, but you can't seem to sustain it. You either go all in and burn out, or you stall before you even start. You're stuck in the cycle of dream, plan, hesitate, overthink, quit, feel ashamed, start again later. Rinse, repeat. It's not because you're broken. It's because no one ever taught you how to be consistent without being perfect. The identity crisis. Here's the part no one told you about being gifted. The label expires. At some point, your natural ability stops being enough. You meet people who work harder, who play the long game, who aren't afraid to look dumb. And suddenly, you don't feel special anymore. You feel behind. You feel like a fraud. You wonder if maybe you were never gifted at all. But that's not true. You were gifted. You just weren't prepared. Prepared for failure, for discipline, for building something brick by brick instead of instant success. How to unlearn the gifted kid curse. All right, let's get practical. You don't need another self-diagnosis. You need tools. Here's how you get unstuck. 1. Reframe trying as proof of growth, not failure. If something feels hard, it means you're in the zone where actual progress happens. Effort isn't an insult to your intelligence. It's a compliment to your future. 2. Do things you're bad at on purpose. Learn an instrument. Draw badly. Try stand up. Build tolerance for imperfection. This is how you shatter the fear of failure. 3. Default to action, not reflection. Gifted adults tend to think too much and do too little. If you feel stuck between options, pick one. Don't wait for the perfect next step. Move, learn, adjust. 4. Break your goals into embarrassingly small steps. You're used to giant mental leaps, but real-world progress happens in micro-actions. One email, one workout, one sentence. Master follow-through, not flashes of genius. 5. Forgive the version of you that stalled. Shame is not a strategy. You've been operating with bad wiring, not bad character. Start fresh. No drama, no guilt. Just day one. If you're still reading, you're ready. Hit like if you feel that shift. Final thoughts. You weren't a mistake. You weren't overhyped. You weren't wasted potential. You were a smart kid in a system that never taught you how to build. But now you can. You're not too late. You're not too far gone. You just need to replace the story. The story that says, if I was really gifted, I wouldn't struggle. That story is a lie. The truth is, you are gifted. Now it's time to become skilled. And skill takes time. Representatives, failure, consistency. Let go of who you were expected to be and build who you're meant to become. If this resonated, hit like, and if you want more content like this, subscribe. This channel is for people who were told they'd go far and are finally ready to get moving. Let's go together. See you in the next one.